What's going on, comic friends? It's Ryan the Colossus Collector, and you are tuning in to session 10 of the Council of X. We're back, but before we could start anything, we have one more piece of business we have to attend to.
Hi, I'm Chris Claremont. This meeting of the Council of X is now in session.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, end the stream. We peaked right there.
Only downhill from here.
Yeah.
Thank you to the legendary Chris Claremont, who I had the pleasure of meeting along with Bruce, who was right next to me when we did that, and Dan from Dan's X-Men Comics, and Justin from No Good Comics. We were all together, and Mike had just been there at Terrificon, and he graciously did that little intro for us, which we will now have as a staple every council session. So that was awesome. So thank you to Mr. Claremont for that. We are honored to have him now part of every Council of X meeting from this day forward. So that was really, really fun to get. And
Incredible.
guys, let's go around the horn. Welcome everybody in. We've got Bruce from Up North Comics. We've got Eric from SideQuest Comics. We've got Josh from Sasquatch Comics. Hayden from the Next Gen Collector and his first council meeting with us this evening. We've got Chris from Cheddar Comics, and we've got Mike from Lunch Money Comics, who we weren't totally expecting, but he snuck in right during the opening credits.
I snuck in from Portland, Oregon. So the opposite.
He's on the West Coast visiting family and going to hit Rose City Comic Con tomorrow, I believe.
I am.
So that's going to be fun. And we know a bunch of our West Coast, Seattle, Northwest friends are going to be there this weekend. So excited for all of them to be able to get together and for Mike to be out there. That's going to be awesome. We've got a few people in the chat already. Let's say hello. We've got John, Big Daddy Ross. We just met him at Terrificon. What's going on, John? We've got John's Comics with Kids. How's it going, John? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Of course, he's a member of the council as well. We've got Thing Comics all the way from Finland. Thanks for tuning in. Uncanny Derek Comics. I like comics. Let's go. Our kind of comment hype as well. And then we've got Richard Westfall, one of our biggest supporters. He said, just wanted to say Council of X got screwed on the CBC Awards. This is the best ongoing series on YouTube, and I'm not even an X-Men fan. You and your guests are and the show are the best.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Richard. He actually messaged that to me, and I was going to bring that up, but he beat me to it. Thank you, Richard, for your support. That's all the award this channel or this show needs. So, I'm happy that you think that, and very, very humbled by that. Eric's here. We already covered that.
Oh wow!
How did that happen? Hey, Cheddar's here too.
Oh my God! Oh wow!
All right. So guys, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been, like I said, a little bit of a summer hiatus for a lot of us, and we've been all over the place. Lots going on. First off, just like, how's your summer's been? We'll get into the cons in a minute, but just like, how's it been going? Busy, I'm sure, but any highlights, any comic related highlights other than the cons recently?
I'm ready to shift gears in my comic collecting. I know everyone says now's the time to buy, just like, tomorrow's going to be the next best time to buy, and, years from now. But I think after this big, con season and meeting you guys, and I feel like I've reached a pinnacle, and now it's time to kind of like take things back and just reassess how I collect and where my money goes.
always good to
But
see.
it's the most bittersweet, beautiful thing after the con season, which I'm still riding the highs from it through everyone's YouTube videos, chronicling, these experiences through everyone's different eyes, and it's just like it's a wonderful thing. Can't wait to talk more about it as we go. But summer, I love the fall weather and what it brings. So
You like
I'm
breaking out the
excited.
Uggs?
Yeah, right.
The Uggs. What about what about the rest of you guys? Anything? I know I'm with Josh. I spent a lot of money.
Well,
the
the
con.
cons weren't enough for me. I actually crossed off some big stuff off my list just this past week, really.
Nice.
Eric's always grinding, man.
I have a very loving wife, let's say that. But
Show it. Whip it out.
Loving and forgiving.
missed my post earlier today. I've been holding on to this for about a week, just waiting for Friday 1st.
I saw it. I think
Tippy Top, number 1 on my
Hello.
list.
Hello.
Hold on.
Congrats.
We're gonna get you in the spotlight.
Yeah,
Big,
give him the big, give
Big
him the
enough.
big
There we
board.
go.
beautiful.
Now,
Chihuahua.
I
Big book
wasn't
alert.
necessarily looking for a graded one, but the fact that I know where this came from, the guy I bought it from graded it 20 years ago. Way before, like when they were first starting to do it, so I knew there wasn't any shenanigans with it. I knew where it was coming from. Never been pressed and clean, so that's an option in the future. But yes, this was my top Grail book, complete. I can go to bed. But I didn't stop here. There's another one.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Nice second appearance.
Oh, come on.
Beautiful.
Oh man!
Added.
Holy smokes!
7-5.
Killing
Wow.
it, killing it.
So yeah, I don't know.
You went hard.
That's huge,
I went a little
man.
hard after the con. This was after the
Big
con.
old
That's
books.
thick.
But yeah,
Awesome.
so
Pay off my car too.
this was an added bonus, but this was the big one. This was what I was going for.
Yeesh.
And he was like, "Oh, I have this one. Were you interested?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I would
Yeah,
be too, man.
those were my.
Love it.
Very
Big
nice.
ones.
Very nice.
Very,
Summer
very.
of Eric. The summer of Eric.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now it's like Josh was saying, I got to reel it in a little bit. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
No more Eric the Red, more, Eric stay home and stop by.
Yeah. Eric
I
the
was,
Saber.
I was gonna echo Sasquatch and say the same. I've been kind of thinking where I wanted to head with things and taking a little comic break just because, me too. I went hard for a while, and all right, I guess I'll say it right here, right now, live on stream. We found out what we're having for our baby, and it's another boy.
Yay, congrats.
I was right.
Yeah.
I was right.
Yep.
Many blessings, man. Many blessings.
People that guess girl, you're not out of the giveaway, but yeah, we're having another boy. So
Congrats.
thank you.
Congrats, man. May you
Super
walk a
happy
good
for you
path,
guys.
Find
Yep.
good places.
And I mean, if you're gonna stop buying comics, I guess that's a pretty good excuse to.
Yeah.
you
Maybe
know.
throttle it back just for a little bit.
There's
I'm gonna
always
come out of
room for
retirement
comics.
once in a while.
There's always room. Where there's a will, there's a way. Right?
Bruce, and I mentioned to you about a week ago, watch your mailbox. I'm a little sad that something didn't show up today, but watch your
Okay.
mailbox.
Okay. I will do that, Eric.
Foreshadows. Comics to come.
Yeah.
The rest of you guys, all good summer. I mean, Mike's just killing it all the time. I mean, videos. If you watch his channel, he's constantly looking for books.
This is Loki, which is not an X-Men character, except for X-Men Annual number 9.
That's
You know,
okay.
you know.
We're a Marvel friendly show.
Yes, I've had a ridiculous year. I was reflecting on it on the plane ride, honestly. So yeah, I'm in Portland. I'm on the other coast. So I don't have like my background. It's fine. I am going to Rose City. I'm going to see some people. Oh, we got Miss Minutes here. My sister Tracy is going to her first comic book show.
Ooh.
So it's been a great year. This is sort of like the culmination. I got to travel a bit. But honestly, guys, I can't. Trificon was like once in a life. I don't want to say it's once in a lifetime. I want to do it again. But I've gotten everything I've wanted this year. I really just everything's coming up daisy. So I have nothing to complain about except this has been the year I realized again the comic books are not the point. It's the people that I met. It's the lovely people in this forum here, people I met at shows, the good friends I've made. They're honestly lifelong friends. It's the community that matters. And the fact I've got to spend time with a lot of people that I see right here, and tomorrow I'm going to another show. I get to see more people out here on the other coast. That's pretty special. So I want to really drive that home to the point where it's so saccharine sweet. You guys get sick of hearing it. It's the people, not the comic books. It's fun to show off some big books, but I've had a great time hanging out with a lot of people here. So pretty excited to keep it going.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.
We had a great time hanging out with each other at Terrificon, meeting so many great people. We unfortunately didn't have Eric and Chris with us, but they got to meet at Chicago Fan Expo,
Right.
which was awesome. Right. It was great that you at least had you couldn't come to Terrificon, but you at least had a con locally, and you guys got to meet. And I'm sure you met up with other people.
2 ships meeting in a sea of people at Fan Expo. I mean, I'm looking for Chris, which is fortunately
the rivers parted,
and he was like way down that way. I was that way. It was like, yeah, we were calling each other out, and
it was kind of like Titanic, like Rose and Jack, finding each other on the ship. You know,
I was picturing more like Chariots of Fire, the soundtrack of running along the beach. You know,
it was more Jack and Rose.
Yeah, I get it. It's more romantic. That's
It was great. It was like the best. I mean, like like echoing what Mike was saying. I mean, the comics are great, but the highlight of my Saturday was meeting Eric. You know, you got this digital relationship, and then you meet, and he's real, and you can touch him and take his books, and you know,
I'm not just a big guy wearing a wig or something.
Yeah,
I think
he's real. Yeah, it wasn't like 3 kids in a big trench coat. He was really there.
Yeah.
Did you say you touched him in his books?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not passing up opportunities, Sasquatch. It was great. You know, and for me, it was the first time, like, you know, I've been doing Cheddar for about like just 2.5 years. So that was my first time, like, feeling comfortable enough, you know, with Eric, who I talk to every week, like meeting somebody in person, and it was just so special. You know, it was awesome.
Yeah. You know what, Ryan? I was thinking about it. I wouldn't know Chris if it wasn't for the one show.
Yeah, that's all Ryan's fault.
With you, Ryan. It's
butterfly effect.
That's what it's all about. Bringing people together, you know.
Our wives met. Our wives like each other more than they like us, I think.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they hit it off.
That's the key to a long-lasting, friendship is that your wives get along.
Exactly.
So, since we're on the topic of you guys meeting, why don't you guys tell us about Fan Expo Chicago highlights, what you guys were like looking for, some of the guests. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get into that because Eric's already talked about his giant stack from Artist Alley, but like what were the big attractions that you guys were intrigued by, looking at, all those things?
You want to go, Eric?
Yeah, at first I was excited not just to meet friends and maybe possibly meet people I know from, online, doing this thing for almost a year for me. But I got excited about getting back to it and, kind of digging in. I got excited that certain guests were going to be there, but then they canceled, so I got kind of bummed. But then there's, I looked at it a way to focus on other guests that were there. So, and as always, my wife goes with me, which is always fun because it's like I get to experience the con through kind of like her eyes, which is always fun. I mean, I used to do that with my son all the time, but now he's old enough that he doesn't want to hang out with dad, and dad's kind of a big nerd anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, just going and being in the experience. I've always been a people watcher, so I love going to these and just watching, people and seeing interactions with them and interactions with the guests and dealers and stuff like that. It's always a lot of fun. Just sometimes I feel like, man, I didn't really do a whole lot, or I feel like sometimes I waste my time, but then I look back and it's like, well, it's because I was just kind of experiencing it through other people experiencing the con. So I don't know. I think any con is kind of a surreal event. You know, it's that build up to it. And then as soon as it happens, you kind of hit that low. And it's like, man, I didn't want it to end.
Very true.
Yeah. Sunday was Sunday was brutal for us.
Yeah.
You know, just we didn't want to leave each other. You know, me and Ricky were the first ones to leave, and I was like, no, let's go back. Like, you know, can't we just stay here another week?
I don't know if my feet could have taken another week.
No,
Yeah,
I felt sadder like editing the footage. Honestly, like when I left, I was happy to go home. I was tired. I barely slept. You know, got home, happy to see the wife and kids. I'm editing the video, and I was like, "Aw," like you know, like caressing the screen. Oh, Ryan, I miss you. No, I'm kidding. But it really was. You reflect on those moments after the fact. You're watching it through like a screen. It's bizarre. But you pine for that in real person interaction, and it is bittersweet. So you got to plan the next one, right, guys?
Yep.
Well, there's talks. There's going to be talks. I mean, there's already whispers of
those whispers
of a con in the southern states that everybody's talking about. Heroes Con. So
Ryan, I don't know how this got out, but I cannot tell you how many people have sent me messages saying, "Are you guys going to Heroes Con already?" Like people already know. I never said it, but like the cat's out of the bag. Like
yeah, I mean, I might have said it in my video.
There it is.
Yeah. But like, I just like, yeah, I guess
I think we all just need to start name dropping different cons just to throw them all off.
Right.
Yeah.
C2E2.
Well, we're gonna see at Granicon in 2 weeks.
I said I want to go to that, Josh. I probably will be at that, but I've seen a lot of people. I mean, people already know in general, like we're thinking Heroes Con, whatever, or Terrificon again, but a lot of people watching all the videos that came out of Terrificon, everyone wants to be a part of it. Like, and I get it. Like, everyone just wants that, like, companionship, you know, and if they watch it, looks fun. Yeah, let's all go. But it's a big, like, if you're flying somewhere, it's sort of a big deal, you know, so we might have a lot of people is what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean,
it might be like everybody's followers are going to have like 100 people there.
I mean, the thing is, what I saw from Heroes Con this year, like watching YouTube, was that there's already a ton of people from the community that go there.
Right.
Because it's a good
already.
con.
It's a good con,
Really good
and
con.
it's I think it's already kind of been on the radar of a lot of YouTube and comic community members. We just kind of heard a lot about it when we were at Terrificon. Heroes Con was there. They had a booth there selling books, and so they talked it up a lot. A lot of us had some good interactions with them. And then just people have said, like, we kept hearing like Terrificon, Heroes Con, and Baltimore Con are kind of like the three best comic book fan cons going these days. And that there might be some good ones on the West Coast too that maybe in the East Coast bubble that those three are kind of tops. But that's just, we heard a lot of that on the weekend. So so it's intriguing, and given that there's already a lot of people that go to Heroes Con, it definitely seems like a cool option. I'm definitely going to Terrificon next year again, regardless, because I already know there's going to be a lot of people that go there anyways, and I just enjoyed it. I love the fact that it's all self-contained within Mohegan. There's always somewhere to go, someone to hang out with.
Cigar bar, you could always make
cigar bar. I mean, I got everything I need there. It's just it's really, really great con. And then the con itself is amazing. Great deals. The books aren't crazy overpriced. No. There's lots to pick through. The artist lineup at that con is like bonkers, or creator lineup.
Yeah.
There's so many great artists. And the guy who runs it is like a true comic guy, so he's got our kind of our likes at heart, and that's what he tries to put into the con. So I want to do that's going to kind of I'm planning to make that an annual thing for me, and then like if we tack on another one, I'm down. I don't have anything holding me back, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first Terrificon as well, and I'm already thinking about the do's and don'ts. One of those little fold-out chairs and better heels, or foot.
Yeah. I saw this. I saw an ad for this it's like a pull cart thing, but it turns into a little bench, and it so you could have a short box in there. You could have your stuff, but you could also just go and then sit on it. So if you're in line, you just have a seat.
That sounds like the best investment for a con. Any con.
It really did. I'm seriously thinking about it. It's just then you got to pull a cart around all day. But my feet were.
You just tell people to get out of your way.
Josh, what are your don'ts not to wear a Sasquatch outfit to a comic book con?
Yeah, don't take 200 milligrams of THC and then walk around on the floor for 2 hours, sweating harder than you've ever sweat in your entire life. But it was so worth it, guys. The sparking joy in people's eyes when they saw this mythical creature walk through the con.
Worth it.
It was perfect.
I mean,
I literally at one point I was like so just dehydrated. I screamed out, "Bruce, Ryan!" And I eventually found you guys.
It was funny. It took a long time for me to find you.
You'd fit right in, Josh, out here in the Pacific Northwest. Sasquatch is a big deal.
Yeah, right.
He's everywhere.
Interdimensionals are big out there.
Yeah.
You got to get a white one, and then you could be Wendigo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. I was thinking about coloring
it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That mythical creature.
Yeah, that was that was just bananas. I felt like I was riding the wave of like everyone that had already been there Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, coming in and kind of riding the wave and joining in and like bearing witness to everyone, having a great time and then the 3 Men in a Basement, like live, thing. I just looking around. I was like, politics don't matter here. The only politics that matter is like who we love in story, and like just meeting you guys and hugging you guys. And like, I was thinking today, I'm like, when I think of labor of love, I think of standing in line for like Jim Lee or Claremont. Like I'm laboring, my back's hurting, my feet hurting, but the love of the craft.
Josh showed me a lot of love in that line because I was dying on my feet, and he was like he was making runs to get water and holding my spot, and like, yeah, good line mate. If you ever need a wingman for a long Jim Lee line, Josh is your man.
Guys, I literally picked up Ryan and put him on my shoulder and carried him to Jim.
and then I found out I could use my fast pass, and I went and I abandoned him. Some wingman I turned out to be.
No, I was so happy. I was like, he's in front of the line. He was with me. Now he's at the front.
I just wonder if I could have done that so much earlier. It saved like a lot of time that day, but it was a little chaotic because Jim Lee was only there on Saturday, and you had to buy you had to pre-buy your autograph signing time, and they were divvied up into sections, and we were in the 4th section of the day, and when we got there for the time where it said for us to line up or our session was supposed to start, they were still on the 2nd session, so we still had a whole session in front of us in between that one and us. So it was just people everywhere. The line was like coming out the door and wrapping around the next room, and nobody knew what the heck was going on. And then the session behind us had the same time as us. So then they're coming in, and it was just like, it was a little bit chaotic and hard to understand what was happening. So we just kind of stood there and waited for people to tell us, go in this line, stand here, this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it took a while to get some answers on the pass, at least. So
there was a time where Ryan and I were discussing, I'm like, do we hawk our tickets for Jim Lee?
That was early on when it looked.
Then we gained our resolve, and
Yeah.
After that.
When it started looking like we were going to be an hour in this line for like 3 hours, 4 hours, I'm like, I might sell these. Like,
Yeah.
this is
That's
not
crazy.
worth my time.
Did you have like a limit for Jim Lee? Like you could only get one thing signed, or
No.
how did that
No.
work? The nuts and bolts.
It was, you could buy as many pre-order like things as you want. So, but like it wasn't cheap. Like it was like 150 for 3 signatures. So,
That's not bad.
it
50 a
wasn't
signature.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 150 for 3, Josh?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I only
Right.
got one.
I think it was 80 or 85 for 1, and then 150 for 3. So I was like,
Got a little deal.
I'm getting 3 for that.
Yeah, for sure.
That. But yeah, I think there were definitely people who bought like 4, 5, 6
Oh,
of those. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
sure. Just all big stacks of X-Men 1.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. So we were, Jim Lee was 2.5 hours behind. So at one point when we got called for our group, you see him walk by, he's like, I'm running to the bathroom. Don't worry, I'm only gonna go number 1. And someone yells out, remember to wash your hands, and everyone laughs. And then he comes back and he says he's gonna streamline it. And
Yeah.
sure enough, like you get there and they say, put your books out, and Jim Lee just like assembly line, comes
that
by.
was the unfortunate
That was the
part,
unfortunate
of when our session got there and it was our turn. He went into like churn and burn mode. So like I got into the area. I put my books down. I put markers down, and I'll show you the books. Like one book he used the wrong marker. The next book,
Dang.
yeah. So and like all I said to him was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, good," and that was it. And he was
You
gone.
didn't get like any time either because it got
None. It was just like moving through, and
Right.
so it was not a great experience, to be honest. Cool to get the book signed, but
Yeah, cool you met him, but not
Yeah.
you don't. It's not like I'm sure when I met Claremont, like he gives you like you're like the only one there.
100%.
He wants to talk to you. He gives you like
You want an intro to your YouTube show? He'll film it for you. What I mean? Like but I mean, I get it. Jim Lee doesn't do that a lot, and he's highly sought after. He's there for one day. Claremont's there for a whole weekend, and he'll be there next year, and he'll be there the next year. He'll be there.
I think Jim Lee. Do you think Jim Lee only does like what 1-2 shows a year at this point? I mean,
I know he does San Diego all the time.
He's got to be at San Diego though, right? Like because he's still at the DC guy, like the head DC guy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's their big like they're promoting, they're doing all their promos and everything. Like he's got to be there from a business standpoint. And he probably throws in a signing while he's there, but I don't think he does a whole lot of shows outside of maybe.
I think he's like McFarlane, where he's like one part like a legacy creator, like Claremont, but part 2 is that he's like actively working and has like tons of stuff to do, so he's just swamped with so much.
Oh, that's too bad, Derek. He's dry. He's dry. He got a really dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
And like there were some, like I was with Dan. Dan had some awkward moments with one was in my video. But like I think if you get him talking, he warms up to you, and like you throw on some compliments and stuff, and he gets kind of like he really warms up to you. So like he was a little bit kind of like a little dry and like not super talkative at first, but I think you gotta work him in a bit, and then he sort of opens up a bit more.
I went to see Claremont after we stood in line for Jim Lee, and I was exhausted by that point in the day, dehydrated from Sasquatch, and a guy right in front of me had just a long box of stuff to just get the signatures and resell. And Claremont clearly wanted to have conversation, and the guy was just not really interested in any of that. So we started asking random people, like, what's your favorite hero? And by the time I got to him, after he had his sushi dinner, I said, well, my favorite character is, Storm. But my question to you is, if Warpath didn't die and you had him, what would you have done with that character? And I kind of stumped him a little bit, and he thought about it, and he goes, I would have made Warpath the badass, not Wolverine. And then he thought about it a little more, and he's like, I would have had him have a situation with Storm.
Wow.
So that
That's
is cool
cool.
just to see, like, if Claremont were to write that character, you know, kind of like alternate reality Claremont Warpath, you know.
That's
Instead of
cool.
Wolverine being the badass, it could have been Warpath.
It's funny that he later take the other Native American X-Man, you know, Forge, and have that relationship. So it is interesting.
Yeah.
how
That's
There you
mine-
go.
Yeah, that's another good point. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him twice, Claremont, and one time was sweet and one time was salty. So I think it's kind of. I also have a theory that the first time I met him, I was only bringing like 70s stuff for him to sign, and the second time I met him, I only brought 90s stuff to sign, and that's when he was salty. So I don't know if he likes to talk about his 90s stuff as much. That's my conspiracy theory.
yeah. Well, he meant Thunderbird. Yeah,
What did I say?
Warpath.
Oh, yeah, Thunderbird.
We all knew what you're talking about. Yeah. I guess Chris, like, he's a human being, right? Like, sometimes
Holy long day.
you catch him on the wrong time.
You know, some asshole just asked him 2 people ago.
Exactly.
You know,
I know.
people
Exactly.
get pushing their pudgy, sweaty fingers at him. You know, that's some
Yeah.
dumb shit.
For sure.
Yeah,
Or the con's kind of crappy, like the organization's and he's grumpy from dealing with something there, you know,
Yeah.
like it could be 100 different things.
Somebody comes up to him, asks him, "What's the first appearance of Gambit?" and he gets really ticked off.
Some guys telling him the year's 2024, you know.
Just direct them to Cheddar Comics on YouTube and you get the answer. It's
Yeah.
already there. I will forever give you credit for laying that all out perfectly. For
I
everyone.
appreciate it. I had to put up with a lot to get there. I had to put up with his answer. He wasn't happy about it.
Can I interrupt, Ryan? I'm sorry. So,
Yeah, no,
it's
please.
literally like 100 degrees in Portland, Oregon, which is insane for September. I'm
That's
gonna
so
jump in the
weird.
pool. I have to jump off quick. I might be meeting with Dan's X-Men Comics later today, which is
Okay.
tonight for your time. But I want to jump off real quick. I got to show you, since we're talking about Chris Claremont. When I was at Terrificon, I got something for my sister, which I just brought out. Tracy, you want? Oh, you gonna hand it to me? She's too shy. I did get this signed by Chris Claremont.
Hold on, I'm gonna
my
make you big.
sister.
I'm gonna make you big. Hold on.
Oh, so you can do it.
There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. So I had Chris Claremont sign this amazing. Obviously, it's just a print of number 135, classic Dark Phoenix, and he signed it to my sister Tracy. And he was much happier to do this when I said my sister likes Dark Phoenix than anything I had him sign. He did not give a crap about what I said. I said there was a female family member that likes the X-Men. He was all excited, so he signed this. He was pretty excited about it. And I did want to really quickly. I don't read many modern comics, but I've been trying out the modern X-Men books that have come out, right? So we have all the different titles: Uncanny, X-Force. That's different. I wanted to know if any of you guys were reading these. So I brought these with me to read on the airplane and stuff. I was wondering if you guys are reading any of the modern comics. I know Travis's and stuff, but
I got them. I haven't read them yet, but I'm planning on it.
okay.
I'm doing X Factor. I'm doing X Force, Uncanny, and then Adjective list.
There you go. That's what I'm going for as well. So I just want to say that this is my reading material on the plane, and I want to just say, sorry I can't be so short, but I had to say hi, guys. I had to say while I was out here. Again, it's early right now. It's 6:30, whatever. So I want to say hi to you guys, and there you go. Absolutely.
Thank you
Eric.
for popping in. I'm glad you could see the first Claremont opening.
That's why I was here. I don't care what you guys. I just want to see the clip.
You said when I told you about it, like, I have to be on when you do that. So I was happy that you were here.
It was amazing. When you showed it to us right afterwards, I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And we joked, we're like, oh, you do it the first time, and you're like, no, we do it every time.
It was funny.
He opens up every council from now on.
Oh yeah,
Permanent.
it was funny. The day one, I got that on the first day of the con, and we were all like, how do you top that? That's amazing.
No.
And then we had breakfast with Walt Simonson for 2 days.
I know. The only thing that could top it is if you got him to read.
Pages of X.
Yeah, that would be the only way. I mean, that's the pinnacle. You should just quit.
You know
whenever
what?
you figure that out.
Next year goals.
That's another goal. You know what the trick will be for that is to try to get him at the end of the day, right at the end of the con, when the con's like
Right.
closing down and like there's no one around anymore, and you just say, Mr. Claremont, can you read one page of X-Men for me?
Could you imagine?
Oh,
You would do it.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try
He'll
it.
do it.
All right,
gonna
that's
do
next year's goal. So
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I want
dude.
to say thank you guys, and I'll see you. I'm gonna see some other friends from the West Coast. I'm pretty excited, but I'll catch you guys in the next Council of X.
Thanks, Mike. Enjoy
Thanks,
enjoy
guys.
the
Have a good
weekend.
one. Take it easy.
All right. We've got a bunch of people in the chat tonight. I'm really happy to see so many with us. Kid Comics, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. We've got, William was earlier. Mikey G. Thank you all for tuning in. Broke Boys in here. We met Noah at Terrificon, another Terrificon alum. Who else we got? I also wanted to call out one more here. Oh,
Take a shot every time you hear Terrificon. You'll be loaded by the end of the night.
Oh, I missed it. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Our friend, what? I always have, there we go. Jose tuned out of the football game to tune in with us. Boring
Nice.
game or not, I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
It's rigged
Jose.
anyways.
So William asked, what page would I have him read? Oh, that's
It's got to be a Phoenix. You got to do a Dark Phoenix or something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've got to get one of his most iconic pages.
Yeah.
It's got to be that page where Jean Grey dies. Like, that's the
Yeah.
page. Because there's so much exposition. It's crazy.
Something to mull over for the next year. There's a lot. I mean, like if I'm being selfish, like I'd maybe want him to read something out of like 122, which is like my favorite issue. Not something out of 94 would be cool too, because it's his first ever issue of the run. So many. Death of Thunderbird would be a good one. Death of Jean Grey. Yeah, they're on and on, man. There's so many. It's hard to choose. Maybe we'll do what we'll do is we'll before when we get closer to the possibility of asking him next year, we'll do like a in council vote on it. And we'll have a few options and see what the council and the constituents of the chat want to have him read. That would be a good exercise. So I want to just we're talking cons, but I just want to say, Hayden, thanks for coming out anyway. We want to hear
All about him.
Dude, you just picked up some sick X-Men books, but you've been busy this summer. Just give us a little update on Next Gen Collector. What's going on with you these days? Comics or not comics?
Yeah, so we are finally back in the steam of things, but funny enough, I'm actually going to a con tomorrow, so I'll be able to finally get one in. Daytona Beach Comic Con, so that'll be fun.
Sweet.
But I actually
Cool.
just this past weekend, I actually went to the Comics Den. If you guys know them on YouTube, they have a rather large comic book YouTube channel. They had a house sale, and I actually have a pretty fat stack here of all X-Men books I got from them as well.
Sweet.
So, and I'm going to be seeing them at that con, and then they have another sale coming up next month. I'm also going to be attending, and they're just as authentic and awesome in person as they are on their channel.
I was
It's crazy.
just gonna ask that. Are they as sweet as they are in their videos?
Dude, Bruce is gonna fanboy out.
I have a hard
the-
on comics that. I'm sorry, but they're a really good channel. They really are. Like, I love.
Oh, they're super easy to talk to. I mean, they're to shop. They would probably have like 5-star customer service reviews. They're always like going asking, "Oh, do you need anything?" I mean, they're giving out free snacks. I was digging through short boxes on the ground with people hovering all over me, and they were bringing me water. It was awesome.
Do they still sell a lot on Whatnot?
They do, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, they do as well. So
Yeah.
the way they explained it to me whenever I was there, so they do the house sale, and then once they clear out, because I mean they're selling like tons of short boxes of their like back stock that they have, and then they basically go through whatever's left, and they kind of do that on Whatnot, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I found them early on when I started collecting, but and then I remember seeing them on Whatnot earlier days when I was on Whatnot more. But I don't know if I've ever bought from them, but maybe once early on. But yeah, I wasn't sure if they're still on there. Cool. Well, that sounds exciting that you got a con this weekend. I followed up Terrificon with a con the following week or weekend. I went to Fan Expo Canada / Toronto. It's in Toronto, and it was not as good. It's more of a way more of an anime pop culture kind of or con. You know, there's comic books. You know, you can look for them, but prices were kind of meh. Depended on who you were shopping from and stuff. But they had Mark Silvestri there, and I met Mark Silvestri, which was awesome.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
I'm jealous of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was I mean, he had a bit of a line, but not too bad. It wasn't like I got to talk to him a lot. It was a little churn and burn, but not like I still got I got a picture with him, and you know, said I enjoy his artwork and his books and on X-Men and stuff. Yeah, so it was cool.
Legend.
Yeah, and he's tall, man.
He's huge.
At one point, I was walking behind him. He was walking back to his table. And I was like literally right behind him. And I'm tall. I'm 6'4", and I'm pretty sure he was taller than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a tall dude, but really nice. His handlers or his people with him were nice as well. And then I also met Art Germ, who's
nice.
does really epic covers now. Like he's a big cover artist. Does a lot of Virgin variants and stuff. And I'll show you what I got from him. And I also met Johnny Desjardins. He's also kind of a more newer modern artist. Does a lot of variant covers and stuff. He does some stuff like he's got a relationship with Comic Tom. I know somehow they've done some things together, and they've hung out. I've seen them on like YouTube things and whatever. But I saw him actually at Terrificon. He was at Very Gary's booth working on a commission on a sketch cover. He was doing this really awesome headshot of the Thing in color, and I even complimented him. I was just walking by. I was like, "Oh man, that's amazing!" And so when I saw him at the show, I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I think I got a sketch cover. I wanted to get a sketch done by Silvestri, but he was all filled up, and it wasn't like I couldn't make it happen. So I was kind of like, oh well, I really want a sketch cover while I'm here. So I went to him, and he did a sick sketch cover for me. I don't have it ready. I'll show you later. It's deep in my stack. So, anyways, he was cool. And I'll also just shout out, and I'm gonna do a video on Fan Expo Canada, but I got to shout out Nefarious Comics, Ryan from Nefarious Comics. He's based out of Ottawa, but he does shows both in that's Art Germ there. He does shows kind of in the Toronto to Ottawa area, and he's the guy I actually bought my Giant Size X-Men one off last year. I saw him on the Friday at the show, was just chatting with him, and he had an extra pass for the next day. So he just hooked me up with an extra pass for Saturday. I got in early too with this pass, and so that was a huge bonus. I got to be on the floor way before the crowds got there, and got in line for Art Germ early and stuff. So just big shout out to Nefarious Comics. If you have Instagram, give him a follow. He's a good guy, and look for him at Canadian cons if you're ever at anything in Ottawa or Toronto. He says he's usually there. So yes, Thing.
So Ryan, your Fan Expo Toronto sounds pretty much exactly like Eric and I's Fan Expo experience, which is, you know, it's a huge. I mean, I think the Chicago one might be their flagship show now, because of the caliber of like the celebrity list that they have.
It's the same company. I know that.
Yeah,
like, the
same one. And I think Chicago's their flagship because it was just crazy. They like any Star Wars person you can imagine. But yeah, I mean, it is mostly, there you go. Shatner,
Charlie Cox.
You know, the Terminator cast, Scream, Seinfeld, all them, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a pop culture show. It's like, you know, the comic section, the venue that it is in Rosemont, Illinois used to be Wizard World, which I went to all the time. I don't know if anybody ever went to Wizard World when it was around. Wizard Magazine put it on.
Since the 90s.
Yeah, they put off their cons. And then Fan Expo actually bought Wizard World and took their slot. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anime. There's a lot of like indie, not even like comic cover artists, but just like kind of, I don't know what to call them. Not like flea market artists, but
they're independent artists.
Yeah,
commission artists,
vendor artists. Yeah. There's a lot of that at mine in Canada as well. It's like a lot of crafts people, you know, selling their stuff. But I was, and there weren't a lot of like artists that I was really excited about, but there was at least a few that I was interested in. And I think there would have been more if I was more into modern stuff. There like both the artists on like Stegman and I forget the other one who's working on the new X-Men books.
Yeah,
they were both there.
That's kind of what Eric said too. Like our show, he's like, it was like all variant cover artists.
Yeah,
it was like a lot of what they were, and like this stuff that like I would like. Like last year when I went there, they had Frank Miller and they had Claremont. You know, so I was like, oh sweet, that's worth the drive. This year the big draw, I mean for me at least, was Andy Kubert was there, and he was like the main reason I went. You know, 'cause obviously he did all that great 90s stuff.
Oh, I would have loved to. Yeah, I would have got something done with him too.
Yeah, he was like, "Can I show you? Is that cool?"
Yeah, no, please. Like,
we're
having the conversation. Please do.
Yeah, so he was my main draw, you know. So I made sure I wore my Gambit shirt for him. Not that he cared, you know. You got to dress the part. And my buddy had met him at New York Comic Con, and he had told me what his prices were. And he said that his prices were $20, but if you brought him an X-Men 266, it was $60.
Yeah, I was worried.
Yeah, so I only brought like a few because I was like, okay, like 60, 20, 20. You know, I was like, I was kind of counting it. And then when I got up to the front and I had my 266, the guy was like, oh, hey, he charges $30 for that. I was like, great.
All right.
That's great. I'll take it. Yeah. So I'm assuming his table must be more expensive at New York Comic Con, so he's got to pay up for it. So I only brought a couple, and when he told me $10, I was like, damn it, I should have brought more, you know. But I had to get this one. You know, you got to get that cover. This one is cool. I got this in a collection. The best thing about being a comic seller is that you get collections and you can keep some stuff. And this is a newsstand on the back, which is cool. So he was like, I signed it right here. Is that cool? He was super sweet, by the way. He was awesome. And then I had my two big Gambit ones. And I had my best idea. I was like, oh, can you sign this one in like hot pink? Like Gambit hot pink? And he's like, yeah, totally. Oh my God. And he's like looking around and and he borrowed Ryan Otley's pink pen, you know, and I had him sign my
oh, that's awesome.
Gambit Rogue in the hot pink, you know.
See, that's what I was trying to do with some of my books, and it didn't work out as good as that. But
did it not work out because of like the pen or
the pen? Color? Yeah, the color wasn't as vibrant as I wanted it to.
That's what I was worried about. And then they were like, it takes 10 minutes to dry, so don't touch it. And I was like, shit. But then my Gambit, my Gambit actually. There's my picture of Claremont signing it. My little nerdy note in case I ever die and my daughter needs to sell my book, you know. There's Claremont signing.
This is who this old man is.
Yeah, just so you know, this is what this is, okay? You're gonna have a nice dinner because of this. That's probably about it. But yeah, so I had it signed by Claremont years ago, and then I had Kubert do the hot pink there.
Nice.
Which he was super happy. He was like signing it, and he was like looked up. He's like, "Do you want to take a picture of me signing it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Hold on."
I do indeed. Thank you for giving me that idea.
Yeah, thank you. So he was awesome. I once I had found out his price, though. I wish I had more, but you know, it was still cool to meet him.
I
And
mean, you didn't have a short box stashed in the car like me?
I know I should have. I got to do it the Sasquatch way. But he was great.
All right, so I feel like we're all hungry to see some stuff, and I think there's lots of stuff to go through. I mean, Chris, you want to just keep going and show us some more stuff?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do that.
My stuff over with. This was that was like the only I know we're like count. That was like my only X-Men stuff.
That's fine.
Is that okay? Or
yeah, that's fine.
I'm off the island.
No, we're a Marvel friendly fan.
When I met
whatever,
SideQuest gave me this when I met him, which was super sweet. And he gave me his sticker, and this is a Andy Kubert variant.
I got mine.
Super nice of him. And there's his. He got signed, which is cool. So yeah, at Fan Expo, like the comic creators just wasn't deep, which is why. Like next year, I'm probably wanting to get on a plane and go to maybe a show. You know, I really before anybody had said anything, I was already thinking Heroes Con. So, you know, I'd really like to.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Chicagoland is on the way down.
Which one?
Chicagoland is on the way down.
There you go. Exactly.
I'm going to come out to Chicago because that's like my old stomping ground. One of these times I'm going to come out and see you guys there because I lived there for a bit. So.
Talked about, like C2E2 this year, and I had some friends that go every year, and they're like, this is the worst year. It's like falling apart. Getting worse and worse.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Their big draw this year was Josh Brolin, and he canceled on Thursday.
Oh, no.
He said he had a bad cough, and everyone was like, F you, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
So the other, Andy Kubert was my number one, and my number two was Bill Morrison. I don't know if anybody is a Simpsons fan. Anyone?
I mean...
Josh? I'm guessing Sasquatch. No? I just guessed.
He's nodding.
No, yeah.
Right? Okay. So Bill Morrison ran Bongo Comics, and then he drew a bunch of the Simpsons comics. So he was super sweet as well. So I had him. I had a bunch of shit for him. So I had my Treehouse of Horror. I had him sign. I had my Radioactive Man #1. I had him sign. He was super cool. You know, all this, and then those are all my Simpsons one. But he was charging for remarks, and I don't really know what remarks cost, but his signature was $10, and he was charging $50 for a remark, which to me I thought was a good deal. So I had him remark a Homer on my Simpsons one. Super cool.
FF1 homage right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I had another one. I was like, I want a Homer and I want a Bart. So he did a fun little Bart there.
It's what's great about the Simpsons is it's already so simple that him just doing that, it's like basically getting a Simpsons drawing done. Like,
definitely,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, and he was like he was so like careful, and he was so slow and precise. Awesome. It was like so cool to like watch him do it, because like when I do my doodles, like I do my doodles for everybody, you know, like I do these in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, and he was like master. And then my proudest moment, besides the hot pink signature, was I had a Treehouse of Horror #1 that I wanted signed. And then I got it remarked, and I was like, could you do a zombie Homer? And he was like, I can definitely do that. So he gave me a zombie Homer on my Treehouse of Horror #1. This was like my favorite. I was like, I'm so smart. I had such a good idea. You know, your one idea for the whole year. You know. So those were my
grandpa.
I know that. That would have been cool. Zombie grandpa. And then I had, you know, and the same thing like you said, Ryan, like buying book. I don't know how Terrificon is, but you know, buying books at the show is pretty difficult, especially if you're spoiled like most of us are with buying on Instagram or whatnot or whatever. So there was one guy. I've had this book, this Golden Age book, I've had it for a year. I can't sell it. I can't find anyone to buy it. So I was like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to trade it. I'm going to trade it with somebody, let them have it, and try to find something off my list. So the big book that I got dipping into Spider-Man is I traded Amazing Spider-Man
Ooh.
13 first appearance of Mysterio.
Sweet. Good one.
Scot-free.
Hit the bell, Eric.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Which
That's a
is
good
cool,
one.
'cause this is my earliest Spider-Man was like 194, I think. I don't really have
This is
early-
drooling.
Whoa.
yeah. So having Mysterio, a Sinister Six member, I mean, he's one of my favorites, and it's great
Yeah.
book cover, and
I've always wanted that book.
it's beautiful, right?
Same. That
Such
is-
a great cover.
Mhm.
And it was totally free. I just traded for that Golden Age book I couldn't get rid of. And
What was the book, if you don't mind me asking?
I had a bunch of these books. They're called Is This Tomorrow? I did a short on it, and it was a Red Scare comic in like the late 40s, early 50s. And it was like a free book that this publisher would put out. It was like, Joe McCarthyism, like Red Scare, everyone's a communist. So it was a book depicting like how bad America is going to be when communists take over and like kill everybody and take all the vegetables and stuff. So I had bought a collection last year from this guy who collected like only political memorabilia. So he had JFK posters and Nixon pins and all this stuff. And then he had this stack of Is This Tomorrow's that I got graded. And I think I had found every buyer there was. And then this was like my 12th copy. So
That's a
two
good
of them
score,
I
man.
traded and are a part of my Hulk 181. So I had the Mysterio, and then I didn't find anything during the whole show. And the last thing I bought on the very last minute I was there was a Batman 232 first Raja Ghul.
That's a good pickup.
Yeah,
That's a good one too.
So on
Great
my
Neil Adams.
Batman Rogues Gallery, Neil Adams kind of double dip.
Love
you
that
know.
cover.
It's great, right? That green.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what does
so
it. Yeah.
that was pretty much my Fan Expo experience. So after that, I'm done.
I love those old Silver Age books with like a one color
Yes.
background. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
green and white or blue and white, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I love that style or that aesthetic. It's very, very cool. So yeah, it's a great book.
Thank
so
you.
you thought that the prices at Expo Chicago were high. And like,
Yeah, I mean, I
tough
have to go in with like a really short list of like things that I'm like willing to like spend money on.
yeah.
And I had the Mysterio, I had the Raja Ghul, is like, I mean, it's not that expensive. It's a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
And I went around everywhere and I found like one and oh, that's ripped. Oh, that's this and it's $400 or whatever. And I was kind of surprised how expensive it was everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
I second that.
Can I show? I got one more show and tell. I swear I'm done. I'm not trying to take over this.
No worries.
I was there with my wife, who is my best friend, and
Aw.
we've been going to cons. We've been together for like 15 years, so we've been to like 20 cons together. And we were like just like you, Ryan. Like, dude, by the end of like Saturday, you're just like, where can I sit down? How can I have an excuse to sit? And we
Yeah.
saw a caricature artist. So we're like, that's a great place to sit down and get some art. So we did a caricature, and I was like, can you draw us as Rogue and Gambit? And he was like, oh yeah, definitely, dude, yeah. And then so he drew my wife and I as Rogue and Gambit,
That's cool.
which was sweet. So we got to sit down, and now I have this on my wall, which is my favorite. I think this is my favorite thing I got there.
That's
But-
sweet,
Yeah,
man.
it's really
I
cool,
mean,
though.
books are great, but when you get like a memory like that, it's
Yeah.
like, really
Yeah.
awesome.
But now my 4-year-old like keeps looking at it, and she's like, "Mommy, Daddy, no BB?
Oh.
No, we'll get one. Don't worry, we'll get one."
Yeah.
You know?
Hmm.
So that was my favorite thing.
Your kiddo has like
Yeah.
Lockheed in the corner.
Yeah, there you go.
Can
Who
I go
wants
next?
to go next?
Can I go next?
You can, man.
Yeah, I'm fading fast, so I figure I should probably go next. Honorable mention, Mike had mentioned like the modern stuff. And I got to tell you, this X-Men title by McKay and Stegman, it's really good. Really good.
Sweet.
It's kicking into gear. The first issue wasn't so good, but like, yeah, I was very skeptical and a little butthurt with the idea of anything post-Krakoa because I'm such a Hickman homer.
Yeah, and a lot of people that was not an uncommon sentiment. Like
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Krakoa lovers were a little nervous about the new stuff.
Yeah, but I think my con started a little before the con because I was going to go and find this book.
There you go.
I had a copy and it was like the lowest low of grades. It was just like total trash. And I was like, this is what I want to upgrade. Maybe I'll do it at the con. And then at His and Hers, you hear Mike talking about that place all the time. He had this copy and we worked out a really good price for it. So I was able to kind of like take the proceeds that I get from the antique shops that I sell at and trading in my other, actually I sold it on Whatnot for this one. And I was able to, within 24 hours, like, pony
That's
up the
killer.
money to get my giant size. And it's like my collecting has, reached its peak for this year for now. And like, so everything at the con was kind of gravy. And I think in the future, I'm going to focus on like, original art and things like that. Cause I saw some of the stuff that you guys got and like, just really amazing stuff.
I feel like a lot of people caught an original art bug on that trip because I'm like just jonesing for stuff now.
Yeah, I think that's the future of kind of collecting. But I had Claremont sign this.
Nice.
Great book here.
Classic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is the one I had both Claremont and Jim Lee sign. Here's Claremont down here and Jim Lee here.
Beauty.
I need to, press this, but it's like
Beautiful.
I have this like mounted on my desk. I keep looking at it.
That's good.
Constantly.
Soak it in.
John
John, did you
Tudor, really nice guy. He's kind of this variant cover. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Brandon, it was so great to meet you, dude. But I had a really great time talking to Terry Dodson. This guy's super, super sweet and kind, and his art is just so iconic. And like, I'm really getting into kind of like the Good Girl, Frank Cho, Terry Dodson type stuff. And he signed a couple of classic X-Men books, and I think if he's there next year, we're going to get some original art from Dodson.
He's got an incredible Fantastic Four X-Men like cover. It's called 4X or something like that, and Colossus is on it. I noticed it on his like Terrificon announcement, and I gotta find that book because that is such a nice cover. And then I would love to get that signed.
Yeah, I think that's where the kind of the collecting and the money spent is going to be with like original art and things like that. But I got a bunch of other stuff, but it's already kind of like filed away and not really X-Men related. But again, it was really wonderful to ride the wave of everyone else's experience. And I didn't get to go to that breakfast with Simonson. I think I partied too hard, and I'm not used to going to casinos on any level. It's like a perfect hellscape for me. But it was so worth it to hang out with you guys. And Bruce, you wore that shirt, and I felt
Dude, he's
like
been wearing that shirt like every time I see him. He's wearing that shirt. It's like
a great shirt.
Wearing it out, it already has holes in it.
He's gonna need a new one.
I haven't washed it yet either, so it probably
that's lovely. What's that smell, Dad? All right, who's up next? Bruce.
I'll do another Terrificon haul here.
All right.
So we already mentioned the shirt. This was one of my pickups from the con. My buddy Josh Sasquatch, thank you. But I did get some books. I'm also a toy guy, so I got toys. I won't show those because it's kind of irrelevant. But I kind of like to do a mixture of both, and I'll just go in order of what I have right here. So I picked up this really nice copy of X-Men number 98. Nice Sentinels cover here. And then, of course, yeah, you got Colossus falling down, looking angry. I actually picked this up for $40, so I thought this was a steal. It's probably a 6.0 maybe. It's got something right here, but it looks beautiful. And I flipped through it. The interior pages look great, so I picked that up. Yeah, very rich colors. Nice gloss on it too. The next book is something from Mike, actually, and I didn't really bring everybody's gifts that they gave me just because I'd be here all night. Thank you everybody for giving me something. Like, I really, really appreciate it. It's totally unnecessary, but Mike hooked me up with this. So this is signed by Claremont. This is X-Men number 200. We all know this book. Nice newsstand copy here. So really like this book. This is a running joke between me and Mike that I picked Magneto over, or I picked, what was it? Punisher over Magneto.
Yeah.
And then I put the Lunch Money Comics sticker in the back, and I got the card in the back. So that was a really nice pickup. And I told Cheddar that I already got this one because I had this one in the Cheddar database, but X-Men number 107. I paid up for this. It's a really, really nice copy. It's high grade, so
I need a high grade upgrade for that book.
Nice colors. Look at
really
that red.
nice. Yeah, sorry, my light is, I don't know. I can never get like a good.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
And next are just signatures. So my favorite one is up here. Actually, no, they're not all signatures. But anyways, regardless, Wolverine, signed by Chris Claremont in blue, and Joe Rubenstein signed it right there.
Jealous of that one.
This one is definitely this has to be my favorite pickup from the con for sure. Well, I didn't buy the book there. I actually got the book from Dan, but just like the signatures, I think they look amazing. And
the blue is really nice.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get rid of this book. It'll be in my collection. So.
That was my blue paint pen I gave to Bruce, and it worked great on his book. I didn't use that color, but then I used the same kinds of pens on some of mine, and they didn't turn out. So
he used up all the blue. He used it all.
Right?
No, I didn't use the blue one. The blue one worked really good. I should have found one that worked with the blue, but yeah, what can you do?
I like that Rubenstein placement.
Yeah,
too,
right on the.
Yeah. So I actually told Chris not to sign the trade dress, and he gave me kind of a look. But he's like, I was just gonna sign it down here, whatever he said.
So that's a funny note, because going into the con, like, you always see him, he signs the trade dress, right? And like people always say, oh, he likes to sign the trade dress. But like when we were watching him as we were in line, like he wasn't necessarily always doing the trade dress.
No,
like
he wasn't.
A lot of times he was picking random other places, but I think that's maybe a little bit of it's probably one of the places he likes to sign, but it's not like he makes it like mandatory that he signs there.
Yeah. The next one that he signed is my X-Men 129. He signed it down here. I don't really care for how it turned out, but I mean, it's there. Still an awesome book. So I got him to sign that, and then I thought this one came out really good. So this is 141. Signed right here. That one came out good. That was another Ryan marker right there.
Oh yeah.
So it was just funny, like walking around the con. You got these 3 books. You're like trying to do one of these deals, like balancing act, and try to get them to dry. You're blowing on them, and people are.
They really should have just like random tables that you could like stop and like put your books down so you could rebag them and stuff like that.
Right. You remember we tried that? We went up to that.
We would have to, like, what was a good thing we had like a few of us together, and like one guy would hold them as another guy's trying to put them back together.
Yeah, but that's where you found your buddy. We turned around and he just like started a random.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Got to add that to the list of things to add to the con utility belt, like a little fan, so you could
Little fan.
the signature.
That's a good
drive
idea,
as
actually.
possible.
Yeah.
But that's one more reason why the wagon seat thing would be an awesome thing. That's basically your surface that you could put things down on and stuff.
Yeah.
So my big book that I wanted to get myself for my collection when I went there was ASM 252.
Nice.
So I finally got one, and it's in nice condition, plenty good enough for me. It doesn't have to be a 9.8 or anything like that. I was dabbling the idea of getting a 9.8, and then I ran the numbers in my head, and I'm like, dude, that's like half the money I'm bringing to the con. Like, I just want to enjoy myself. Like, that was really the biggest thing, was like having money, enough money to not worry about anything. Like, if we wanted to go out to the cigar bar and I could drink 7 beers, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to really enjoy myself. So a couple other little small things were just from Mike. So I got some cards. Really like that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Classics.
Killer, dude. Killer haul.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
All right, Hayden, do you got some books? I'm sure you got some books.
Well, I got plenty of books. I got plenty.
Something to share
All
with the
right.
crowd. All right, let's do it.
All right. So I have 2 stacks. So I have one stack that I've kind of showcased already, and these guys have kind of seen. So this first stack is shout out to Dan, of course, because he sent the link to the seller on eBay, and I was shooting lowball offers left
this
and
guy
right.
again.
He's still this guy is still sending me offers to buy the rest of his books. So so he was accepting everything. Like, he had books posted at $30, $35. So I was like, hey, if I buy a bunch, can I get them for $10 a piece? He said, sure. So one of those books was X-Men number 24. So all these are the lower.
So sorry, you got that for $10?
So you just want to.
You
I got all these books for $10 except for 2 of them.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I need that one. That's one of the ones
so
I
this
don't
one's
have
probably. Yep. So this one, the big thing is it has a kind of chip going on right here. But I mean, with the Mylar Mirage going on, I mean, it still looks pretty good.
Great.
Staples are intact, are a little loose, but first Locust. Really happy to get this one. I mean, $10. I mean, who's not going to pick up Silver Age X-Men for $10 a piece? Next issue is 26. Same deal. It's little stuff kind of going on corners, Marvel chipping, but once again, $10 for 12-cent goodness.
Nice.
And then this one has been on my list for a while. We have $39. This one with the black cover, the damage a little bit more apparent, but
Silver Age goodness.
another really good one. And then we got some, I believe, Barry Windsor Smith Amazingness here. This one I think I paid, it might have been $12. Basically $10, but coughed up the extra 2 for it. And then this is the one I actually paid up for. I paid $15. I went and double checked, but it is number 57.
You wild man.
That's crazy.
I know. It's got a little grease marker, I think, right here, 101. And then I can't remember. The damage on this one's kind of wavy. This one might actually have like staining on it, but I mean, once again.
Yeah,
Grease-
Travis,
Grease
that
markers
is,
sometimes
that
can
is
come off.
crazy.
Say again.
I said grease marker can sometimes come off. Depends on the kind. But
Yeah, I was kind of poking it a little bit to kind of see. I'm not really sure kind of what the verdict of
yeah.
what it is.
It's hard with Silver
then
Age.
the last one I got.
Paper they used.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that.
And then the last one I got from this seller, I paid $30 for, but it is 56.
A big
Wow.
one.
Neil Adams.
I love that book.
Me too.
Crazy.
It's awesome. $10.
This one was 30. This is the one that kind of like made me like, maybe I should try to bundle some other books in so I make sure I get a good deal.
That's a
So.
steal for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
I
a
know,
great
this
deal.
one, the best thing is, this one is kind of this. I mean, it's just dirty. That's the main thing. The staples are really tight on this one. So, and then this was a gift from my girlfriend on my birthday. Was 62. So
There you go.
for Savage Land, I believe.
Man,
Nice.
Silver Age Hall for days here.
Yeah.
Yes, but it doesn't end there. So when I went to the comics den, it was fill a short box for $50. So I think it comes out to like maybe 20 cents a book. So I just was going crazy in these boxes trying to find every bit of X-Men I could. So we got just 2 first appearance of Beak. These, Ryan, you might like. We got some.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh,
That's a good series.
I got to read that.
And then, of course, I had to get my first copy of Heroes for Hope. So finally happy to find one of these for that
Nice.
low 20 cents. Anniversary cover action.
Orders, yeah.
And then I found in one box, they just had a small chunk of just all Uncanny. So we got 188, First Adversary, 189, Great Nightcrawler cover 204, 205.
I love that one.
Me too.
And then a small jump over to 237. And then 260. All for 20 cents. And then to conclude
Can't beat that.
everything,
No.
while I was there. This is a book that has been eluding me for whatever reason. My girl finally got her first Rogue and first cover of Mystique. So
Sick.
I think I paid $25 for this, so I was very
That's
happy.
a steal.
Dude is
Yeah, it's-
just raking in the deals.
Yeah, thank Angelo gave me the deal on this one. I picked it up and I was staring at it for a bit. I was just staring in, and then he comes over. He's like, "Dude, I can tell you want it. Just $25." I'm like, "Okay." So
Crazy.
That's awesome.
he did that to me with a couple books. I would sit there and just look at it. He's like, "You know what? How about this?" And just knocks off like 50%. I'm like, "All right."
Wow.
Wow.
That's excellent.
So that was all my books I bought to cope for not going to Terrificon and seeing everybody go.
Well, good coping mechanism. And,
Crazy.
And you
Right.
didn't have to pay a lot. You probably made out on better deals than any of us did. So
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
So what did we learn here? Don't go to cons. Yeah.
Not if you want a deal, you know.
I kid. We're at the cons for the people, not the books.
Oh, that's right.
All right. I'm gonna
Before we
open.
move on to the next guy, I gotta check out. I'm exhausted. I got so much I gotta do. It's a pleasure, gentlemen. I'm so glad to be back.
Bye, dude.
on Council of X.
Thank you for coming, man.
Till
Appreciate
next
it.
time.
Yep. See you soon. All right. It's the moment Eric's been waiting for to show off his giant stack.
Here we go.
So
Here
what
it
do I
comes.
start with? Artist Alley, or do I start with 3 days of digging?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I will streamline it.
All right, thanks. I still have my books that I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to cut mine short.
I'll start with some of the oddball stuff that I get. A lot of times I go to these, I like to get not just books, but I'll look for prints. So I got this cool John Romita Jr. black and white print of Wolverine.
That's cool.
Or I get the pins that they have at their little merchandise booths, which are always cool. This year they did X-Men. Last year was Spider-Man. So I mean, these are really nice
I
pins.
bought a pin when I was there. I don't remember pulling it out.
And then I also like to do Christmas shopping for my son early because there's so much there. So I got him a nice Pokemon zipper binder to put his collection.
Oh.
And then I don't know if you guys ever see those booths that have the mystery boxes that you don't know what you're getting when you buy them. Well,
Yeah.
I had maybe 2 beers in me on the way out one night.
Oh, they got you.
What the heck is in those?
They got them.
They got me. So I bought one for myself and one for my buddy. And it has stuff like this in here. It's a little werewolf buddy, like
That's
you use.
cool.
So, and it came with some pub mugs and
That's cool.
a Frankenstein fleece blanket. And then you find random strangers that give you cool cards.
Whoa.
That you see on the floor is some 1980s
Oh.
Turtles trading cards. Cheddar.
Don't take stuff from strangers.
Going on, Biggie?
I like turtles too.
But so I'm going to jump into my signatures I got. I was excited to go to see Jeff Johns and all Ghost Machine were there, but they canceled. From rumors I heard there was a bug going around, so I think they may have got COVID.
Yeah, I heard they got COVID at San Diego Comic-Con.
I was all set to get all those old Green Lanterns and, Darkest Day and all that stuff signed. But like Chris, I was still happy that I'll buzz through these real quick. Andy Kubert was there. So there was some X-Men, stuff. And yeah, I got that one signed. We got a lot of the same books signed, Chris. Pulled the trigger on the big one here.
Let's talk about that, because when I would talk to you, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to get my 266 signed.
That was before. So I have this thing about big books, getting them signed, that I think what it is if I ever want to replace it, it's like, man, that's a big book to replace.
Yeah.
Considering that I bought this in the day for $1, it's really hard for me to do that. And in the same sense, I got to think about, why am I getting it signed? I'm getting it signed for me. I'm not going to flip it and, and all that stuff. So I think talking to you kind of brought me off the ledge, Chris, a little bit. And you're just like, just get it signed. So I pulled the trigger and got it signed. Now I wish I got Chris Claremont to sign it last year, because I had this last year and I couldn't pull that trigger. So, yeah, I got a lot of Andy Kubert signed. Here's a different one. So I got him to sign Batman versus Predator.
That's a cool one.
I didn't know he did that one.
Now, what I want to do, his brother did the inks on this. So if I ever come across Adam, I'm going to have him sign this book too. So
I had other books picked out, and I was like, damn it, this is Adam. Damn it, this is Adam.
I hunted. This was a last minute thing. I have just a trade of this, and I wanted the actual issues. I was running around on Saturday looking for this. I couldn't find it. I found it in a set, and I just bought the whole set because I just wanted number 1 signed. So
that's sweet.
All right, so that was Kubert, and then I always like seeing some of the veterans at these things, and like some of them, there's a Tom Grummett. He didn't even charge me anything, and I had like 6 books signed by him. But one of the guys that I had signed was this big old book. Now, this may look familiar, Chris.
Yeah.
So I bought this from Cheddar because it was signed.
Oh, that's I sold you the Jim Starlin signature, right?
Yep, that's Jim Starlin. So then I got Mike DiCarlo to sign it at FanFest.
So cool, dude.
And it's like when I asked him, I said, can you sign it in the inside? He kind of gave me a look, and then when I flipped it open, you could see and he's like, oh, okay. So he understood then. So that
sweet.
Was kind of cool. Dan Slott signed First Spider-Boy for me.
Sweet. Very cool.
Speaking of Tom Grummett, I had him sign. This was a show exclusive they did where he did a different cover with Supergirl. And this is just a reprint of number 7 where she dies in the storyline. This one, one of the ones I was walking around for a while trying to get that signature to dry. Took forever. But yeah, and then he signed first full Superboy from back in the day. Pat Gleason signed this lovely one.
That looks nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's got such a nice signature.
Ooh, there's a nice one. Too. The Man Thing one. Yeah. I almost did the Mon Thing.
And then Maria Wolf signed this one for me. She didn't charge me either. She's just like, it was a pleasure, talking to her for a while.
That's such a cool cover.
Yeah. I wish I had like a Storm one that she did too, and I didn't bring that one. Some Moon Knight signed by Geist. And then this was a big one for me too. I'm a huge Conan fan, so I had Jim Zub sign. Here, I'll show this one off first. It's an older Red Sonja.
Oh man, that looks good with the red.
Yeah. And then I had him sign this one too. that maybe eventually I'll get the artist to sign this one too. There's plenty of room up top. So that was just some of my selection of signatures. And then let me see if I can thin these. I found some cool booths. I didn't do a lot of digging. I just kind of wandered a lot, and if I saw something interesting, I'd stop and look. So one booth had buy one get one free, and I started looking, and I ended up buying this one, which is the marriage of them and the crowning of Aquaman of Atlantis. And then I got this one for free. It's her second appearance. So yeah, it's 13 and 18.
Nice.
I wish I would have dug a little bit more, but then again, I probably could have spent a lot there then. First appearance. I've been looking for this one for a while, and I just happened to look down. Origin and first full appearance of Son of Satan.
Nice.
That's cool.
I mean, I was hunting for Ghost Rider #1 or his first appearance. Nobody had one that was not super inflated, so
yeah,
I ended up finding that one. I was happy with that. Let's see. I do like the big magazine ones, and I found a dealer with a bunch of them. But my highlight one, I found a bunch of the Dracula Lives. My highlight one was this one, actually, that I've been hunting for ever since I saw it months ago. I featured this on our live stream last week.
I remember that.
Love this 70s pulp. Lady Satan. I mean, this is cool, just classic 70s art.
That is kick ass.
That guy in that on that cover, I don't know if I should say this. There was this dealer at Terrificon, and he
looked like that.
Ain't no way.
Long weekend, right?
That was he looked like that on Sunday.
Yeah.
No. That was his look. Like that was his signature look. Anyways, I'm sure somebody who was there. I'm thinking maybe Chin might have an idea who I'm talking about, but sorry, it just popped in my head.
This is one I've been looking for to complete this cover run. It's all the zombie covers from Deceased. So of course I needed Zombie Wonder Woman. Last one. If it's zombies, I'm gonna be all over it.
That's cool.
Going with the horror theme, I've been looking for this Bernie Wrightson for a long time. Love how he does the classic werewolves. Dracula.
Yeah, you were excited about picking that one up. You mentioned that in there.
Yeah, this one, I love his art style. He's kind of a classically trained artist, so it's a whole different element with him, with his line work and everything. So I really like that. And then I did find a bunch of discount ones. I'll just show you the highlight for me. I love this series. This is a nostalgia series for me. It's the first spoof of Turtles. Now, this guy had a whole bunch of them. I got a bunch, to try to fill out the run. But specifically, I was looking for this one. It's a first print. I just have the second print. Don't know what happened to my original. But as I was looking through them, I found that this is signed by the artist and the writer.
That's cool.
So that was kind of a cool find in a discount bin. And I like this art. It's different,
Right.
Love parody books.
Yeah. I love all those weird animal 80s. There's like Fish Police. There was Hamster Vice. And there's a whole bunch of them. And I got a big chunk of some Green Lanterns from Volume 2. Probably my favorite thing out of the whole weekend. My wife got me these.
Oh, cool.
So she found a dealer that had like Omnis and trades and stuff like that, and these were sitting there. And she saw X-Men and she knew I would like it. So
see, I saw one of those at Fan Expo, and I should have grabbed it.
I got these for $10 off too, each one. So
Nice.
they're normally I think 30. I got them both for 20 each. So I guess she did pretty good, And then lastly, so I'm going to cut it short because I keep going. There's a lot here. Okay, Bruce has seen this. This is probably my personal favorite one I got. And it's a little bit of a goof, guys. Female, of course, number 2, starring Taylor
Just in time for Kansas City Chiefs season.
Yeah.
Now,
Bell.
one of the variant covers was her wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey,
Oh,
but I had to go with the
you got to go with the Dazzler for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, I'm almost afraid. I haven't popped this open yet to read it, but I think it's kind of just goes over like some of the stuff she does in her career and life. So it's like a biography comic.
Yeah.
But pretty cool artwork though. I mean, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It looks photorealism for artwork.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So that's probably the goof one. And I think this was a day that we took a break and had a couple IPAs in the little, break area. And it's like, okay, let's go hunt for comics. So my wallet is a little bit looser because of that.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
It makes it fun, right?
It does. Yeah.
You gotta jump on things sometimes.
But yeah, I have a video eventually coming out where I do spend a little bit more time on the stuff I got. But it's a doozy. It's probably going to be my biggest video to date.
I hear you. We were talking about that before we went live. My videos.
You want to include everything, right?
Yeah, totally. So I'm not showing off everything because I'm sort of spoiling a little bit my videos coming up. But so I stuck only to the X stuff, and these don't get as many views anyway. So we should be safe. But yeah, I pulled out some cool stuff that I got at Terrificon and I got at Fan Expo. So this was actually a gift from JP from Absolute Game and Nerds. I'd never seen this before.
That's
Marvel 1991 Year in Review. I just love these like I've never seen it. Undiscovered like magazine books and stuff like that with X-Men on them. I'm always down to get this. So this was a great gift. Thanks to JP.
Ryan, is that the one with like spoof advertisements on the inside?
I haven't even cracked it open yet.
Oh.
I'll let you know.
I don't want to. That's not in there. Don't worry.
All right, we'll find out. So another gift that I absolutely love. This was from Mike. This is J. Scott Campbell, Colossus Nightcrawler, and it's signed by J. Scott Campbell.
Oh, that's
nice.
Amazing gift. Guy knocked this out of the park. This was on my list of books I wanted to get. And it's like extra special too because it's Mike's favorite character. It's my favorite character. So dope. Really appreciate that.
Yep.
And then we'll get into just books I got at the shows. So upgraded my 171. This is a really nice high grade copy. Rogue joins the X-Men. Kind of wish I got this signed by Walt. I'm pretty sure Walt. Yeah, that's a Walt cover.
He probably would have signed it at breakfast.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be at breakfast
I
that
know.
morning, right? I came down and he was there. So
Yeah.
I didn't
Also
really plan it,
planning.
and I kind of didn't want. I don't know if I would have wanted him to be like, "Hey, can you sign all this stuff for free?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Working on filling out my run. Got this reprint 86, really nice copy.
Nice.
Clean colors are beautiful. Got X-Men 54.
Nice.
First Alex Summers. Another really clean copy. X-Men 21. This one's eluded me for a while, so it's just one. It was one big gaping hole in my run, so I finally got that filled. And then I got this was the big one. X-Men 7.
Nice.
Second appearance of the Blob.
Oh my god.
I keep looking at one of those.
that one looks
on
nice.
Atari. They keep coming and going and coming and going, and I haven't pulled that trigger yet.
It's a nice copy. I will say that the staples are a little bit precariously attached, so I'm a little worried about the potential of getting this pressed and cleaned and sent to
Colors
CBC.
look great though.
But it looks great, yeah. But
One of the ones I want.
I do really want the first 10 graded eventually, so But I'll probably leave this raw for now. And yeah, just nice to get one in the top 10.
Cool, dude.
First 10.
First Cerebro.
That too. Yeah, I always just think of it as the second appearance of Blob. But yeah, it's a great book. Then I got signature books. So this first one is signed by Greg LaRocque, and that is our friend Justin's from No Good Comics dad. And it was awesome because when I went to go see him, this was a planned book. Like, I was gonna get this signed by him. I wanted to support his dad. Just so happened that Justin was literally there when I went up to his table. So he introduced me to him, spent a few minutes with him, and then he signed it for free. And I mean, I wasn't looking for it for free, but just I got the No Good family discount. So
yeah.
for that, and his dad Greg, really, really nice to meet him. And I had to get something X-Men related, so that was the one I zeroed in on. So this is one of my favorite X-Men books. It's the first Jim Lee on X-Men, and I got it signed by both Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. But as you can see, the color didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
I was kind of going for the yellow and the blue from the trade dress. So, but the blue Jim Lee used just kind of was very see-through, and it just didn't really pop the way I wanted it to. And then the yellow's okay, but it's still kind of not as vivid as I hoped. But still pretty cool to have them both sign a book. And then this was the one that Jim signed that I wanted gold on right here where he signed it. But he grabbed a black Sharpie and just put black on it. So it's like, not what I wanted, but still cool to have. That's my favorite Jim Lee cover. But this one turned out really good. And this is my project book. So this is X-Men 273. And you might wonder, why is this generic X-Men book your project book? Well, Jim Lee did the cover. Chris Claremont wrote the story, but every spread in this book is done by a different artist. So
That's cool.
Michael Golden was at this show, so I got Michael Golden to sign it. Klaus Janson was at this show. I got Klaus Janson to sign it.
Cool.
I then got Mark Silvestri to sign it at Fan Expo Canada, Toronto.
That's cool.
And then Jim and Chris Claremont. So really cool. And so like I'll eventually try to get Will Spertasio, Rick Leonardi. It might be a long shot to get John Byrne, but he also worked on this. So this is kind of like my signature project book. And get them all done in silver.
That's
Kind of
fun,
see
man.
it in the so pretty cool book. So Bruce kind of mentioned it earlier. We met a great artist who was set up there named Bobby Breed. He's done work for both Marvel, DC, and stuff. And he was just such a nice, personal guy. He kind of just stopped us as we were like trying to fiddle around with some books or something. And we ended up talking to him for like 15, 20 minutes. He was so nice, and I liked his artwork, and I just said, I'm going to get something done by this guy. So I dropped off a sketchbook, and at the end of the weekend, he gave me this.
Wow.
That came out so good.
That is whoa. That's awesome.
I
Damn,
mean,
dude.
it's all, and I didn't even tell him, but X-Men 122 is like my favorite Colossus cover, my favorite Uncanny book because of that cover, and
Beautiful.
it's almost kind of an homage to it, like in a fresh take, right? Like, it's like a Danger Room press thing that he's holding up, and just like
So cool, dude.
so nice, and he did it in full color.
Yeah, the colors.
And
Awesome.
yeah, just really, really, really amazing work. Knocked it out of the park. So if you ever come across Bobby Breed at a show, take a minute to talk to him and maybe get some work done from him. He does some really really great stuff. I also went to Joe Rubenstein and got him to do a piece of work on a sketch cover.
I like that.
He did that for me.
Nice.
Pretty sweet. And then the dark areas actually are kind of like this like dark metallic pen or marker. So it's kind of actually got this like metallic look to it. It's a little hard to see, but pretty cool. He did some like crazy headshots though. I kind of wish he did I got a headshot because Rohan from Absolute Game and Nerds got this Thanos done by him, and it was amazing. And then somebody else, I think it might have been Chinmo, who got a Gambit. If I'm right, let me know. Chin. That Gambit was bonkers. So cool. So when I was at Fan Expo, I mentioned earlier I got a sketch cover done by Johnny Desjardins, and he did that for me.
Wow.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Wow.
Really cool. Did it in marker colors. I think it's markers. Might be a little, also could be a little bit of watercolor, but or maybe a lot of watercolor. Anyways, really cool. But what I was thinking about with this now is there's still a lot of space on this. I might turn this into like a piece I get work done on from him every time I see him. So I'm thinking of like maybe I get like a Juggernaut up here, and then like an Omega Red, and then like I don't know, something else down here. You know, like just stuff that kind of is related to Colossus all around this. That, or I could turn it into a bit of a jam piece too, and get different artists on it. But yeah, anyways, pretty cool sketchbook there. And then I had mentioned I met Art Germ at Fan Expo, and he had a show exclusive, and it was this Savage Land Rogue, and I got 3 of them.
Holy cow!
All signed in silver, just in right there where.
Cool.
Yeah,
wow.
pretty dope, right? I realized I should have brought my Ilyana Rasputin version and got that one done too, but didn't think of it. So that's the comic stuff. Then I also got this guy.
That's a cool figure.
Bruce stopped at a toy booth, and he was looking at some stuff, and I just saw this guy, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm buying it.
Beefy.
Beefy. But it was funny because it matched this little version that Mike gave me.
Yeah.
On card. So I kind of have like the big version and the small version.
Yeah.
Troy gave me this cool patch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So dope.
Yeah.
And then this is like insane. I love this piece. JP got this done on the con floor by a crafts guy that was doing stuff like this, and he got me this.
Oh,
so
that's
it's like a
sick.
framed comic cover with, and then he takes the panels from the inside and he like, they're like 3D layered on top of everything, and then he puts these silver colored borders on it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. So, and he surprised me with that. And Brandon got one too with the Predator cards on literally as we were walking to the lobby to jump in the car and leave. So
cool.
That's my X-Men stuff. I got other stuff as well, but save that for my video.
I think this is that magazine that you got, because I have the first one they did. It was when they were launching McFarlane Spider-Man. And I mean, it's a legitimate, just a magazine with articles in it. I mean, and classic movie ads.
Sweet.
But I think, Chris, you're talking about fake ads. It does have something like that in there. Like they had this one of, Dr. Doom.
And, that's what I've seen. Visit Liberia.
Yeah, there's just a lot of neat little articles in here. I like these old magazines from back in the day before the internet, and
Yeah, I have one, a comics journal one, and
Comic Scene I think was another one.
a few other ones. But yeah, they're just cool. I just love discovering them because they're not ones like you see very often. So, all right, well, it's been a good night of showing off stuff. Before we wrap things up, I just want to give everybody an opportunity to plug things that are coming up on your channel. Bruce, I know you're taking a little bit of a hiatus.
Lives. I'll be in
But-
everyone's lives.
You ain't seen the last of Bruce. Don't worry. We'll get on him if it gets too long. We're like, come on, give us some content. But yeah, you'll be on lives for sure. Eric, what's coming up next on Side Quest Comics?
Well, aside from my computer struggles, hopefully a new computer so I can get the rest of my Fan Expo stuff out. I have it broken up to where I'm going to do 3 videos that I'm still working on. I teased some of it tonight, but other than that, I have a backlog of recorded raw footage that I got to work through from some of the little local cons that I've done. So kind of that status quo. I'm coming up on a year, so I might do something special in October. October was one of my favorite months, so where I kicked it all off. Yeah, I mean, I was featuring a scary cover every day on Instagram, so
There you go.
maybe I'll do something different for the celebration of a year. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to keep going with the live streams end of the months. So I got your name jotted down, Bruce.
Do October. Do
And
one
then
in
I got
October.
some other ideas that I want to do for some like live stuff, just because it's kind of almost easy to get the content out where you don't have to fight with editing and stuff as much. So got some ideas for new stuff.
Okay.
Excellent. Hayden, what's going on with Next Gen Collector?
Yes, so this Comics Den Hall recap experience is going to be a 2-parter just because of the amount of books it is. So I'll have a couple videos on that. I'll have Daytona Beach Comic Con that I'm going to be going to tomorrow. I'll have a video on that. And then my favorite local comic shop, they actually moved locations to this like corporate business park. So they have a ginormous new area. It's awesome. I was speaking to the owner, and I mentioned the YouTube channel and Comics Den and everything. And he's like, oh, yeah, I can set up an area in here for you, and you can have in the back if you want. So I might be starting a little just connection there, see where that leads me, kind of maybe get some inside scoop of what an LCS does nowadays. So, and he's just like a straight vintage shop, so he doesn't deal with new books or anything. So he always has really cool inventory. So hopefully I'll see kind of where that leads. I don't know. I told him I'd help around if needed. But yeah, just taking it day by day, being a full-time student again, don't have that, precious cheddar coming in all the time. So we're having to, these $10 deals that we get and stuff like this, I got to take advantage when I can.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, you do some fun stuff on your channel, man. So I have no doubt you'll figure out some good content no matter what. So looking forward to that. Chris, Etsy shop's dead. What's coming up for Chris and Cheddar Comics?
Etsy's dead. The witch is dead.
I'm sorry, it's still on the stupid description. I got it. I'll knock it off.
It's all good. I hopefully will have my new video out in about 2 weeks. I did a deep dive on the history of corner box art.
Oh,
why we love corner box art. So
nice.
That was cool. Cheddar on Instagram is a full-time gig. It's crazy. I'm starting a second show. I have a live show every Thursday, the flagship show, and now I'm starting a second show on Tuesdays.
Well, let me just get my wallet out right now.
Just hand it to me right now.
Hand it to you over screen.
If he wasn't taking me and Eric's money enough, he had to go ahead and start a second show.
Yeah, start a second show.
Okay.
Luckily, business is great, and I'm buying Like this week, I bought 2 collections, so
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
getting better at finding collections and buying them. So we're expanding into a second show tomorrow. This is an exclusive right here on Colossus Collectors Show. Tomorrow, find me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing my 9K giveaway of Wolverine 1 through 4.
Wow.
So come and enter that. That'll be the freebie giveaway. So yes, Whatcast is here. Hello, Whatcast. So that's what's going on in the Cheddarverse.
Love it. Love it. Lots of great things happening in all your guys' universes. Looking forward to all that stuff. As far as this channel is concerned, we've got part 2 of Assemble at Terrificon coming out. Should be out Monday. I'm like 90% sure that it'll be out Monday. I get my act together this weekend. Follow that up with my Fan Expo video that'll come out after that at some point. Hopefully end of this week, maybe the following week. And then more Council of X. We're going to start picking up the schedule a little bit more, doing this, every 2-3 weeks, And yeah, that's pretty much the outlook. I'm thinking about doing another show of some kind, but I haven't quite. I've been talking about this for a few months. I still haven't figured it out, but keep an eye out. I want to branch out into more than X-Men conversations.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. Just so I could have more people on the channel and stuff. But yeah, we're moving along into fall and eventually winter. Oh my God, how did that happen? So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. The chat's been absolutely on fire. I'm sorry if I don't highlight everybody's stuff just in the middle of the conversation and stuff, So, but thank you everybody for watching. And with that note, I hereby close this session, number 10 of the Council of X. And we will see you guys on the next meeting. See you guys and keep collecting.